Hello, welcome to the Counterattack Playthrough Series. We're continuing with Turn 1 of Invasions, and it's now the Roman activation. Remember, Rome consists of two nations, the Eastern Romans or Byzantines and the Western Romans. But at the start of the game, they are allied, and they activate as one nation. And when you activate as one nation, you activate when the oldest nation activates. So the Western Roman Empire is age 9, while the Byzantines are age 3, so we're activating at age 9, Western Rome. Here we go. Let's go take a look at their objectives. Okay, let's look at the Western Romans first. We can see they're an empire because they have an eagle here at the start of the scenario. Most nations have bonuses here for becoming a kingdom or an empire, but they're already an empire. Instead, they get a victory point bonus turn 6 or later if they're able to figure out how to reunify with the Eastern Romans. They get 1 victory point for eliminating barbarian and Persian units, 5 for eliminating Attila the Hun, 3 for eliminating named leader counters, essentially kings of barbarians, 1 for each raider eliminated. I apologize if you hear jets flying, I can't get a break from them. 2 victory points for each non-heretical Roman province. That is a misprint, or they changed the rules, I'm not sure which, but it's 2 victory points per Roman area that is non-heretical and Christian, if I recall correctly. So definitely check this in the living rules. -2 for each Roman city looted, which we saw when the Persians looted several Roman cities. Even though these are Western Roman, I know Eastern Rome has the same thing. So instead of getting territorial bonus points on turns 3, 6, 9, and 11 or 12, like most of the nations, Rome's different. Rome's in decline, remember, so they get victory points for like holding on to some things of theirs on turn 2, but 10 victory point loss if they choose to abandon any of these areas here. That is their choice to declare abandonment, and there are bonus points they can get by abandoning these places. And often like some successor kingdoms essentially take over for them, but so there's sort of a trade-off. In each turn they can abandon one of these places, but when they abandon they get 10 victory point loss. And same thing on turn 3, same thing on turn 4. Looks like on 4 they might be able to get victory points for retaking Gaul, assuming they've lost it. So these guys are, from these victory points you can tell like Rome is, Western Rome anyways, on the massive decline. Okay, let's check out Eastern Rome, or the game calls them the Byzantines. Very similar, turn 6 reunification bonus. What do we have here? Very similar. They don't like barbarians or Persians or raiders. They get only 1 VP for each non-heretical Byzantine province. No, it's area. And non-heretical, like I said earlier, I said Christian, but really non-heretical Christian areas. -2 for cities pillaged. Now, unlike Western Rome, these guys are not on the outs historically. They could be, depending on how the game goes, but the points assume they're not. So they like keeping basically the territories along their borders, right? Armenia, parts of what Persia controls. We can come down here. Here they get points for controlling things that they already own in Europe, which I assume means it's likely they will be taken from them by barbarians. They have all of Oriens and all of Mesopotamia, bonus points. Here they get points for controlling parts of Italy and Spain, so presumably they're going out and trying to reconquer the Roman Empire, which did happen. There was an attempt. And again, similar stuff. Okay, so these guys are like holding on. That's really what they're going for. They're holding on and possibly going to go for reunification on turn 6. Okay, a couple more things before we activate. First, special rule. The Julian Persian campaign of 350. On turn 1, Roman military units, except guard units, may redeploy anywhere in friendly territory. That means from Gaul all the way over to the Middle East. And if they can capture Ctesiphon, I mentioned this in a prior episode, if they can capture Ctesiphon, which is the capital of the Persian kingdom, they can impose some harsh rules, harsh terms. Bunch of gold, Persia loses provinces. It's not good. So that might be a good goal for them. Another couple items based on comments people have left on Board Game Geek or my YouTube videos, which I really appreciate, not only for me, but it helps others, right? This is a tough game to learn, and there's a lot of little tidbits. So one, remember it was a long time ago, but nations were collecting income and paying their expenses and then buying things and upgrading city walls and things like that. And I said, like, oh, I better make sure we have enough money in the bank because we might draw like reform cards or something and have to pay $20 or $30 depending on the situation. When I say bucks, I'm gold. So let's make sure we have enough. Well, I didn't pay attention to the rules close enough. Someone pointed out at the start of the administration phase, certain nations, basically aged nations like Rome, they have to discard a lot of their bank. For example, I'm trying to remember, but Rome might have to discard like 50% of its bank or a third or 2/3. I forget what it is, but which means they might not have enough money to buy their administration card and they would go bankrupt. So it's a key point to keep in mind is look at the rules for aging and make sure you are banking enough money if you're civilized to pay for your administration card on the next turn. All right, so that's a good comment from someone. Another, remember a long time ago, back when the Alemanni, man, this is like a month ago from my point of view, we're trying to bust into Gaul. And Iulianus like intercepted and defeated him in Lotharingia. Then he went up here into where Belgium is or northern France, defeated them again, won both battles. Well, if your nation's in decline, which the Western Romans are in decline, winning a battle means there's a chance someone will assassinate your leader, which is sad yet historical. So I never did that. I think for fun, I'm going to see would he have died, but I'm not going to remedy it. I'm not going to try to figure out how to backfill it. So let's go ahead and roll for the first battle that was in Lotharingia. And I think I said it's only for Romans that are in decline. No, it's any empire in decline, which is Western Rome, right? So you need an 8 or more for him to die. So did he die in Lotharingia? He did. I'm not going to roll that back, though. So let's say I cheated, he survived, he goes up and fights the other battle that happened. He did not die that time. All right, so asterisk. The last little correction someone pointed out, way back on turn 1, when the Picts raided, I had them raid this empty Bernicia. Somehow I made a mistake, and there should have been a Roman limitus there that got destroyed. I think it would have been destroyed. I don't recall, actually. We're just gonna, it doesn't really matter, right? So I'm just leave it, whatever, hand waving it. But just wanted to point out, I had a little error. So I did 3 errors in Rome. All right, anyway, let's get to this Roman activation. Okay, we're announcing activation. Anyone want to do anything before military phase starts? Nope, everyone's pretty much out of stuff they could do. Okay, so now we'll process the campaign of Iulianus, okay? So, we got Iulianus up here. He is going to go over to the Middle East because I don't know if I can actually do it, but I want to make an attempt to get Ctesiphon. We're going to denude the empire here, though, which is a little scary, but I know ahead of time that Roman legions have area names on them, and at the end of the turn, they have to redeploy back to their areas in general. There's some nuances, but in general, they're going to have to redeploy back. Plus, Iulianus could, if he wanted to, could use one of his leader campaigns to redeploy anywhere. I haven't done this yet, but when a leader starts one of their campaigns, they can redeploy to anywhere within friendly territory. I just haven't had to do it yet, but I think the Romans will do it because they have a big swath of friendly territory. All right, so this stack I want to relocate, but I need to make sure I don't take essentially the elite, which are not allowed to leave Western Rome. Got a lot of damaged legions in here. Okay, so I'm not sure what Palat means, Palatinate cavalry or something. That is one of the royal military units. The other one I think is down in Rome. Yeah, the Custodes or something like that. So those are sort of the elite of the elite. They're not allowed to leave their empire. But let's see, we also got some Frankish mercenaries. Yeah, we'll take them. So these guys are all going to redeploy over to the Middle East in friendly territory. And, well, I think a good spot to redeploy to, I don't know. We'll just throw them here for now. So we're also going to be activating the Byzantines too. They come together. They're one country right now. If I come back over to Western Rome, there's another legion here. It's also damaged. Man, the Western Rome just got jacked. So they're going to deploy. Down here in Rome, like we have the Custodes, which I'm calling sort of like the elite bodyguard or royal guard or something. Just remind myself. We do this Persian unit that we got from a marriage with the Persians. The only reason I did that was to reduce the Persians' military strength temporarily for a turn. This is going to go back to the Persians at the end of the turn, and it will refuse to fight Persians. So there's no point in redeploying that, but we'll redeploy this guy over to Iulianus, who has a stacking value of 3, so we can hold up to 7. And we don't have to count the limitus or the limus. There's also a legion I won't show you necessarily, but down in Africa, so we'll go ahead and deploy it here as well. And I guess I better count this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. 7. Stacking limit outside of mountains is 4 plus 3 for Julianus, so he's a very solid leader. We can also process clients, the Gassanids. I don't know where we want to put these guys. I'm inclined to just put them here in Phoenicia. Okay, and then the Armenians have 3 units. So we'll say the top one is 1 and 2, middle one 3 and 4, bottom one 5 and 6. Randomly select a unit to give. Ah, how nice. We've got this Armenian heavy cavalry. We'll put them with the Gassanids as well. So those are the clients that the Byzantines have. Now the Romans have a client over here with Mauritania. This isn't really going to matter, I don't think, but maybe later in the game it will. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 1, 2, 3. So this guy, I don't know. We'll deploy it to the capital of Africa here, and these guys are not allowed to leave Africa. They're bound to that province of Africa. I think the rule means the area of Africa. I don't think it means the continent of Africa, but it won't matter anyway. So, all right. So all the action is going to be out east. The question is, do I also want to move these guys that are here in Britain? I mean, they will redeploy if they survive, so yeah, why not? Let's go. So send these guys all the way over, and I don't know, we'll throw them here. In fact, maybe all these guys that I put here really should join up with a legion, maybe over here. Yeah, just to try to maximize our leader campaigns and things like that. Okay, time for the unit stacks step. So I have some things I want to do. Reading the rules, I think they leave a lot to interpret in this area. I have questions on Board Game Geek, so I'm going to do my best to interpret them. I think they're wrong. So, first off, I want to do a naval transport. I got these Byzantines over here. Let's get them over here. They'll teleport back. You know, this might be dumb, but I'm just sort of practicing it anyway. So, I want to get, like, this guy over here. But it would take him a while. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess he could walk over there 4. But let's do something more fun. Let's send this naval transport down to Mare Nostrum Orientalis. A naval transport has 4 paces available to it. It has to stay within 2 paces of, when I say paces, I just mean spaces or sea zones. But the game calls them paces of a friendly port. And that's going to be easy right now. Later in the game, I guess it might not be. So it's going to go 1, 2. All right. Now, I'm going to declare a naval transport. And you have to declare it because if there's enemy fleets in the area, they might want to intercept and battle. But there aren't any right now. So this guy, he has 3 paces, right? So he can go 1. So this is where the rules are unclear to me. Like, they say one thing, but then they have an example that's different, but the example has an error in it. And anyway, my best interpretation of the spirit of the rule is this costs 1. You can't stop on a naval transport though. So this costs 2. And then finally 3. Why am I bringing this guy over here? Well, maybe during a leader campaign he'll get used. I don't know. Also, I got to do a naval transport. So a naval stack, and there's rules for, like, you can only stack 2 naval units, and if there's a third, you make a separate stack, things like that. Each stack can carry up to 3 units and a leader, and each stack can only do 2 transports. So these both did 1 transport. So I think, like, what I might do is, like, rotate them 45 degrees to indicate they've both been used once, and then if they've been used twice, maybe I'll, like, flip them over or something. I don't know. So, and a unit can only naval transport once per turn. So, but we're good. You can move before and after on land if you have enough moves, but this guy didn't, right? So hey, let's just bring this guy over here too. Yeah, just throw him right there. All right, that was fun. I got to use naval transport. Well, I guess I'll flip them on 90 degrees to indicate those transports are done. Okay, now it's time to get real. One thing that I totally missed. There's actually a few things, but as the Persians, check this out. See this guy here? He can go with infantry 4 spaces, right? 1, neutral territory, no one can intercept. 2, neutral territory. 3, neutral territory. Boom. So, I was thinking I had all these little speed bumps here. I don't. I should have thrown some stuff into this desert areas here, because I can totally flank there. And it's just dumb. When I'm filming, I'm not actually thinking strategically because I'm thinking about what I'm about to say. So that's dumb. Another thing, there's a rule about overruns, and I haven't used this yet in any of the series yet. Really, because I just didn't really have an opportunity, or I'm just dumb. But if a enemy force moves into a province and has a 6-to-1 advantage, it just squashes the defenders. So that's really only going to happen against 1 unit, I think. I don't think you can move 12 units into a province, an enemy province. But it is prevented by fortified cities, so that's good. This guy's protected from overrun. But a lot of these guys are not. Now we'll have to see how the rules interact, but Persia has special rules, like when a province is invaded, a friendly a home province, they can generate a unit into the province, so that might prevent overruns there too. But nothing's going to prevent this. So I guess, like, is there any reason not to do this? So when I get down here, stacking will be 7 for me. I will be crossing a river. I think I'm cool with that. Let's go down here, Iulianus. Bam. Okay, what are these guys going to do? They're not going to flee their capital. They're already max stacked, so they're not going to try to intercept with anyone. That was just dumb, really dumb. And by doing that, they are now pinned. Like, they're not going to flee, right? Which means these 2 guys and these guys can run amok. Now, I'm not going to go read the details of the Persian peace that would be imposed if we did take Ctesiphon, but I seem to recall it's something like they have to cede some of this territory here, and then the Romans have to pull out of all the other territory. So if I think I'm going to take Ctesiphon, and I won't know that for a while, right? There's going to be some battles. Maybe I don't want to take other Persian areas, although maybe I want to loot cities, right? But I do want to kick them out of Armenia here. It's not going to benefit me too much, but it just get them out of there, because the Persians, if they have to sue for peace, they will have to retreat from anything they took from Rome, but this wasn't Rome. So I might want to go in there, kill those units, and push them out of there. So I guess we're going to go 1 here. And those guys are going to try to run. They're not going to stand and fight. We're going to have to get 9 or more. I'm not crossing a river, but I guess we'll say we're going to flee. We're going to flee here. Okay. I need to see if this force has less cavalry than this force, which is highly unlikely because Romans generally are not cavalry heavy. So no. So it looks like a straight roll of 9 or more. 9. They do flee. And they can flee 1 to 3 paces, if I recall correctly. Yeah, 1 to 3 paces. So, where do I want these guys? I want to help defend somewhere. Well, this is as good a place as any. Maybe the city that's undefended. All right. So these guys expended 1 movement point. They have infantry, so unless I'm dropping people off, they have 3 left. Remember, infantry have 3 paces, but a leader gives 1 pace. Now, I see no rules around liberation. Like, the Romans took Armenia Minor from the Persians. It doesn't say they have to give it back to Armenia. That's Roman now. But I think they're going to keep a unit behind to hold it. We'll keep an archer behind. And we're going to continue in. We're going to go here. So now Persians, friendly territory or home territory has been invaded. So we're going to check that out. And then we're going to decide if there's going to be any interceptions. Okay, so Persian resistance rule. Persians can go select any unit from their dead pile, and from their force pool, land unit. And this is the only one they have. And they can place it in the province or in a province that is a Persian homeland that the enemy controls and is empty now. We don't have that situation here, so it's going to have to go here. Okay, so even if we had 6 guys here, and if this wasn't a fortified city, I wouldn't be able to overrun because now this unit just appeared here. In the rule, I don't see anything saying you only do this once per turn. So I'm assuming every province entered, we can pull a unit onto the map. So, there are no more units in the force pool. So, do the Persians want to intercept? Yeah, these horse archers and cavalry want to intercept because that could be a decent battle. It's easier to intercept than to flee. We need 6 or more. There are no die roll modifiers. 9, they intercept. And so, unlike a couple episodes ago, where I just sort of left things like this when the interception happened, you have to resolve the interception now. So the Romans still have some more units to move, but we're going to have to go ahead and do this battle. Okay, archery round. We're not in mountain, so there's no mountain ambush. We got 1.5, 1.5, because these are horse archers in step. That's 3. The bonus is 3. -2 because the Romans have the heavy advantage. They have 4 heavies. Persians only have 2. This feels like a strong Persian force, but Romans just kick ass. And they have their cream of the crop. The Palatinate cavalry, something like that. I don't even know what that stands for, but something like that. Custodes. Byzantines have their own elite units, and they're not allowed to leave the east, the Byzantine area, just like the Western Roman version. So anyway, let's see what we got here. 9. That is a hit. So I guess the Romans will hit a legion. All right. Yeah. I was a little confused by the picture, but yes, there's a sort of grayed out diamond there. Okay, now for the first round of melee. So let's see if I got this right. We got +1 because we're a kingdom with a fortified city. If it was an empire, it'd be +2. +1 for cavalry advantage. That's +2. -1 for not having the heavy advantage. Okay, that leaves it 1. These guys are +2 because they have 2 diamonds and then 2 more diamonds, and they're Roman. So you can count 2 diamonds twice if you're Roman. So yeah, and now this leader has to decide: does he want to sacrifice his 1 reroll to boost this to +4, which actually could be tempting, but still, if he rolls snake eyes, I don't like that. So we're going to keep the reroll. I tend to favor rerolls. I'm sure there's a mathematical way to figure out what's best. I like mathing it. Looks like we got a 7 plus 2 is a 9, and an 8 plus 1 is a 9. 9 to 9. This is like 5 versus 4. So the Persians will do 3 hits, and it's 2.5 rounded up in step. And the Romans will do 2 hits, so 3 hits to 2 hits. Yeah, I need a little help. So these guys do 2 hits upon the Persians do 3 hits upon the Romans. So Persians rolled pretty high. I think we're going to force a reroll of the Persians. Ooh, good choice. 4 plus 1 is 5. They got 5 units. Okay, that's a 1.5 rounded up to 2 in step, so it's actually 2 hits each. So Romans are definitely more resilient here, right? So maybe they will. Well, here's 1. And the question is, do I want to take another hit? It's like, if I take another hit, I'm sort of banking that the battle will end here. And then during recovery, each civilized nation can restore 1 elite unit. So I get 1 back. So maybe we'll, if I don't flip this unit, like I can recover this, but then I would have to kill this guy maybe, but he would come back. But I would have given the Persians a point. That's just a tough call. I don't know. I'm inclined to try to keep combat power here and sacrifice a point. So we'll just say this guy is dead for the moment. And these guys have to take 2 hits. They are not as resilient. This satrap, dead. This cavalry didn't really help out. So guess we'll flip it to this side. Interesting, it is now dismounted. First, the defender can decide if they want to retreat. Nope, we're fighting this out. So the attacker has to decide if they're going to retreat. This can be an expensive battle. The Romans I haven't gone over this, but there's lots of Roman special rules. And they have a hard time replacing legions. It's a slow process, so if you lose a lot of legions, you're kind of hurting. So I'm just a little nervous about taking too many losses here. And for what? I think they will retreat. I think the Romans will retreat. Maybe I'm not being aggressive enough. So let's see. These guys got 1 point each, right? And recovery. This guy recovers. And then this guy recovers. And then each civilized nation can, I keep calling it recovery, but it's restore. Can restore 1 elite unit. So yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter which one. So we'll restore that guy. And then this guy restores. So the Persians are at full strength. Didn't really work out so hot. Okay, here we are. These guys have to retreat 3 paces. They must go back through the province they came from. So here, but nothing stops them from redeploying down to here, I guess. But their move's over. Failing to win a battle of an interception, you're done moving outside of your retreat. If we had won, we could keep moving. Okay, we still have a few more units to move that we haven't moved yet. So this legio down here, it's going to go 1, 2. So I have to decide. Oh, hold on. That's a little scary. Hold on. That's a Persian friendly province. So theoretically someone can try to intercept into it, like this big stack over here. This combat system is very dynamic. I'm really happy with it. The way this unit can just plug holes anywhere it needs to in general, if it can survive, just like the Romans did in the first episode, I think, when the Alemanni were trying to get into Gaul. It's pretty neat. So anyway, instead of moving this guy, I think we'll move this guy in, these guys in. Do I really want to do that? Maybe we'll start with these guys here. 1, 2, yeah, okay. Really, I want to take this province in Oriens back. So these guys up here, they got 4 units. Stacking's +2, so that's a Roman Caesar versus a Byzantine Caesar. The star just means like it's essentially a general, even though he's sort of like a lesser leader historically. So 1 friendly, 2 friendly. We can take up to 6 units. We're gonna absorb these 2 guys and go here. Bam. So now the Persian has to decide if they're gonna retreat or intercept. Man, I'm inclined to like fight for it. Let's try it. This guy's gonna intercept. The only negative here is it's 3 paces away, which is a -1, and intercept is 6 or more, right? So we got a 6. -1 is a 5, so we just barely missed it. Whew. Okay, well, does this guy want to retreat? Let's see if he can. Yeah. When I say retreat, I mean flight. And does he have less cavalry than here? Do we even have any cavalry in here? Yes, we got those Armenian cavalry. So he's going to have a -1. And he's retreating towards Palmyrene. Didn't get the 9 or greater. So we got a quick little battle down here. Oops, we don't have a quick little battle here necessarily, because that's not an intercept. So, is there anyone else I want to move? There is one Byzantine way over in Moesia. Nah, he's protecting the border. This guy here. Does he want to do anything? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, oh, he can only go 3. Huh. That's okay. He's going to go 1, 2, 3 into here, and then he might get used later. We'll see. Okay, so now I think all the Roman moves are done. Which battle we want to do first? I think this one's an important one to do first, just so I can have it in my mind if we lose. What the heck am I doing here? Look how beat up this Roman army is. What am I doing? This is ridiculous. I need to pay attention to the game a little more. So don't play like me. So, anyway. First battle of Ctesiphon, assuming there's going to be more. Archery round. We got some archers over here. Horse archers in step. 1.5, rounded up to 2. Romans have 2 barbarians in their army. This is Mauritanians, I should say. Horse archers, 1.5 in step. Franks, they throw axes. That's half. Add them together, 2. Then round up. I don't think you round both of them. Doesn't really say, but that's my interpretation. I don't think we round both of them. Okay, so that gives us 2 versus 2, but the Persians have the heavy advantage, which is kind of surprising. Romans are so wounded, so this goes down to 1. Let's see what we have. Persians are yellow. Persians have 8 plus 2 is 10. Romans are 6 plus 1 is 7. 7's a miss. 10 is a hit. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Well, other than throwing axes, these guys aren't good. Oh, there's some rule about barbarians or clients or whatever. Let me see if I'm allowed to kill those guys first. Ah, okay. This is my interpretation. The Franks are a federate. They gave this mercenary to the Romans permanently. If it's eliminated, they'll never get it back. It's Roman. It is now Roman. And so, it's just any other Roman. And so I'm going to eliminate it. But, it is kind of nice having another archer type. But, oh well, I'm going to eliminate it. But like a client nation, its mercenary is loaned each turn. And if you take a hit, the first hit must be one of your national units. And my interpretation is a federate's unit that it gives you, it becomes one of your national units. But a client can't take the first hit. In fact, I made 2 clients take hits in a siege, and I'm not sure if a siege counts as combat, but that may have been violating the spirit of the rule. But anyway, we took a hit from the Persian cavalry archers. Okay, first round of melee. This is not looking good for the Romans. They're at -2. Let's see, why is that? Well, they crossed a river. All the units crossed a river. That's -1. -2, these guys have the advantage. These guys get a +1 for having a city and they're a kingdom. If they're an empire, they get a +2. And that's it. There's not enough diamonds on either side to get bonuses. There's not enough cavalry on either side. They cancel each other out. So the only advantage the Romans have over the Persians here is, they even have fewer units, is that Iulianus gets 3 rerolls and the Persians 2. He could sacrifice a reroll to bring the -2 up to a 0. I think he's going to do that. So he has 2 rerolls now. Let's do this. Ooh, Persians rolled well. Romans rolled poorly. Definite rerolls coming. I put these dice out to track the rerolls available. So, well, I think for starters, the Romans, the attacker always goes first. The Romans are going to reroll their own dice. Got a 6. That's not very good. The Persians are cool with the current situation. They're not going to reroll. So now we go back to the Romans. The Persians still have 2 rerolls, right? So it doesn't really, honestly, it doesn't matter a whole lot. I think the Romans want to try to get a better reroll maybe on themselves. They're going to be devastated by the Persian attack. And the Persians can, yeah. Oh man, these guys are getting destroyed. And I think the Persians are like, yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, so we're not going to use those rerolls. So the Persians, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. I'll take the rerolls away. 6 units, and they rolled an 11. That's 3.5 in step, rounded up, 4 hits. Romans 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units already. They just rolled a straight 5. That's just 2 hits. This is absolutely awful. Okay, so, it doesn't really matter, but I guess maybe we'll have the Persian heavy advantage is nice, so maybe we'll just let these guys die. These guys, that's their 2 hits. So what I want? Nah, I could be more efficient. Someone pointed out online how dumb I am in my choices of losses. I know, I just don't have time to think it through. So maybe we'll flip this guy actually. That's 1 hit. And that lets me only kill one of these off. Okay. So put it like that. 4 hits. Oh man. Well, this guy will absorb 1. 2. Oh, it's just awful. Who is this? Oh, it's a cavalry. 3. Guess it doesn't really matter. I don't want the Custodes. Where'd the Custodes go? Here? Here? Oh, maybe I don't have a Custodes here. So I guess this Legion. That is brutal. And there's no way another round will be in Rome's favor. What do we got here? 1 point for the Romans, 4 points for the Persians. Okay, attacker decides to retreat. We're going to recover. We will recover a legion because they're hard to rebuild. The Persians will recover this guy. Then restore. I think we'll restore the immortals here. It's an elite unit. And then one of these guys was I thought one of these guys was a strong legion. I guess not. All right, doesn't really matter then. So we'll restore this guy. Okay, back to the map. Okay, here we are back on the map. Here's Iulianus. He has to retreat back the way he came. He's still got 2 more retreat paces. Quick pause though. I went and found all the client markers. You're supposed to put them on the income track, but like some of these clients, like they don't have units to mark where their home territory is. So I just went and put them on the map just to help out. But one question I have, and I asked on BGG, like to conquer a client, you basically like take out their capital. or their leader in their last stack, to force them to be a client. But the Lakhmids, their only unit had been destroyed earlier during a battle with the Persians. When the Romans came through here, did they conquer the Lakhmids? Did they submit to become a client? Are they completely wiped out? I don't know. I posted online, and I'm just gonna call it like they are wiped out. But this guy's gonna retreat back 3 paces to Palmyrene. That was brutal. I did notice I made an error here when I moved this Caesar down here. He picked up 2 Byzantine legions here, but they had used all their movement crossing the sea zone here, so we'll remove those to correct that. Someone on BGG did comment about my question about the rules for naval vessels that are a little confusing to me. I believe what the rules were saying is that as a unit moves through here, it's using 1 pace per sea zone. Great. Additionally, each stack of ships loses a pace. So since 2 units move through this ship, it's 4 paces dropped to 2, which is fine because it only took 2 to get down there. That's sort of what the explanation was, and there's a confusing sentence about that. I think his interpretation is probably right. So both these guys are out of paces. Anyway, back to what's going on here. We have one more conflict right here. Let's do it. Okay, archery round. There's 1 archer, the Ghassanids archer. So we're looking at a +1. Romans roll a 6 + 1 is 7. That's a miss. Now for the melee round, fortified city +1. 2 diamonds +1. And let's see, these guys have the heavy advantage, so this goes away. Does this leader want to boost by +2? No, he wants to keep his reroll, so let's do this. Ooh, Romans devastating. Persians not so bad either. Reroll going to the Persians. Still 10, so 4 units for the Romans do 3 hits, yeah. And then 1 unit for the Persians does 1 hit. Looks like the CRT doesn't let like a unit do more than 1 hit, basically. So we'll go ahead and flip this guy. This guy's dead. 1 point for the Romans. Recovery, it's a small battle. Oh, yeah, small battle, no recovery. In a small, I'm calling it very small because there's only 1 unit on one side. It looks like you can always restore, regardless of the battle size, so we'll go ahead and restore this guy. Sort of symbolizes battle hardening, maybe. All right, so yeah, do the Romans have to besiege their own people? Well, if we want this city now, we have to besiege it. But at the end of our military phase, if we control the area, Orients, and there's no enemy units in the location of the city, it'll automatically convert to Roman control. So we'll go ahead and go back to the map. Okay, that means if these guys aren't going to besiege, they need to retreat. And I guess they will retreat. Let's see, we have 4 + 2 stacking, so they'll retreat here. And I think that ends the unit stack step. All right, well, the next step is the leader campaigns step. But quick correction. I mentioned this in an annotation, but I'm just going to call it out. I gave this Roman army the Frankish unit back. The reason is this battle was a large battle. In large battles, you recover 2 units. When I recovered, I only recovered 1 unit, so I went and dug the Frankish unit out of the dead pile and recovered that unit as well. Okay, so here we go. We have 3 leaders. Which one's going to activate its campaign first? Well, I think I'm going to change strategy. If I rearrange things enough to give this guy a really good stack of units, which he doesn't have, it's all very weak, and I can't afford to lose more legions. That's my take. I theoretically would have a good shot at taking Ctesiphon, but I think it's too much work. It's too much work, too risky. So I'm going to give up that idea of taking Ctesiphon and forcing the Persians into peace. So, my new strategy, take back what they took from me, inflict any pain I can, but play the long game. In the long game, I'm taking out their client, the Iberi. I want to take them out because not only do they give them a unit every turn and a little bit of money, that's a +1 die roll modifier for them trying to convert to an empire, so I can reduce that. So, to that end, this Caesar is activating. Oh, I was messing around. I accidentally stole that archer. So this Caesar's activating. He's going up here. And the reason I was played with that archer is I was trying to understand the control rules here. So this is a good little learning moment. The control rules are complex, but I like them. I'm cool with the complexity. It just takes a bit to wrap my head around. So I was just asking myself, do I control this province with only one unit there? What if it was gone? Would I still control the province? And the answer depends on the various criteria. First, this is a province in a barbarian area. A little axe next to the word Caucasus or Caucasia, whatever it is. Barbarian areas require 3 units to control. Barbarian provinces do, I should say. If they're being controlled by a civilized player. If being controlled by a barbarian player, it only requires 2 units, one of which could be a horde. But, so when the Persians actually conquered this, right, they had at least 3 units there. They took control. They're civilized, it's a barbarian province, they took control. And then once a civilized nation has control of a province, if they leave, it doesn't matter, it stays in control. Cool. So if I had moved in this single archer to try to take control, I would fail. It would actually be a Persian province, and I don't control it. That's my interpretation, because I need 3 units in a barbarian province to take control. But I actually moved in there with that archer and a bunch of other guys, right? So I did take control back. Well, not back for the Armenians, back for the Romans. All right, and then, so anyway, bring these guys in, and my thinking was, oh, what if I take the archer out? If I take the archer out, I still control it. So we're going to do that. And let's see, my stacking is good. Let me make sure I'm not lying. Yep, stacking's good. We got 5 units plus 2 mountains. So we went 1, 2, 3. I was able to move through the Armenians, not because they're my friends, they're my client, and they're neutral. You can move through neutrals. I moved into the Iberi. Even if there were good Persian units in range, the Iberi are not friends. They are neutral as well. And they're inactive minor kingdom, so they can't intercept. There we go. So their choice is run, or flee, or stand and fight. The Persians will have them stand and fight. Since this is a leader campaign, we'll process this battle right now. Okay, archery round. The Iberi have 1 archer. That's 1. But the Byzantines have the heavy advantage. That's -2, so it brings us to a -1. Byzantines have 1 archer, 1. But we're in the mountains. So the defender, since they have archers and it's the mountains, they can make a D2 check to see if they are going to ambush. That's odd, so they did not ambush. If they ambushed, I believe they would get to fire first, and then the enemy would take losses. And then the enemy would fire, so potentially change things, like lose heavy advantage, things like that. All right, let's roll. All giddy like a kid that just got a new toy because I bought fancy dice for each faction. Let's see here. And I had to source them from a few different places, and finally they all arrived. So let's see, we got Romans rolled a 10, plus 1 is 11. 11 is a hit. The Iberi rolled an 8, minus 1 is a 7. That is a miss. So this guy's dead. See the little mountain icon there? I believe if I had rolled for a mountain ambush, he would have counted as 2 archers. Because my little cheat sheet says, in a mountain's ambush, archery round, mountaineer units count as 2 units. And then if I had other units that weren't archers, but they're mountaineers, they would add to my attack strength, which I believe is, half. I think it's half per other kinds of infantry that are mountaineers. Anyway, this guy's dead. Sorry, buddy. I don't think I get a victory point for that because that is not on the hit list. It's not a Persian unit. It's a Persian client. It's just a little independent minor kingdom. It's not on the hit list. So, siege. -2 for the city walls. It's a fortified city. +1 for being a civilized besieger. So that's a total of -1. He gets 1 reroll, or I can sacrifice that reroll to add a +2. I think we're going to go for the 1 reroll. And we need to roll 7 or more. Since it's -1, I guess 8 or more. 8 or more. 8 minus 1 is 7. We need 7 or more. Got it. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to loot the city. So that's 2 gold right off the bat. Dig deep for a pillage marker. What do we have? 2 more gold. So the Romans, this is a Byzantine army. So the Byzantines will get 4 gold. If it was like a mixed army of Western and Eastern Romans, they could split it. They might get to decide how to split it. All right, we'll draw the pillage marker to mark it. It's been fully looted. They submit. By the way, the Romans can decide if they want to pull the walls down and flip this over. They don't. They're going to keep the walls. But the Iberi submit to the Romans, and look, we flip this over, and it's now Byzantine colored to indicate they are client. Let's go back to the map. The new Roman client, the Iberi, they are neutral. They're guaranteed neutrality. So these guys have to retreat. I guess that's kind of convenient actually, right? So they'll retreat back to where they came from. Armenia Minor looks like a decent place to stop. Is that where I want to stop? That's a tough call, because all the legions are going to go back to where they came from. Maybe we'll stop in Milettine. One thing about this game, it does need control markers. Like, I don't see how they got through playtesting this without wanting them. Like, how am I supposed to remember Armenia Minor's Roman? Like, maybe if it was a 4-player game, like, 1 player would remember it, but I'm not going to remember that very easily. So I'd love to put like a little Byzantine marker right there. I'm probably going to make some on my own. Anyway, next leader campaign. I think we're going to activate this Caesar. What do we have here? We have a legion. This is a pretty powerful force. Okay, we have 5 units. Could stack 1 more in. They could teleport, right? So it will teleport over to here, and the rules say what actions you have to check stacking on. It's not listed leader teleporting at the start of a campaign. So this is overstacked. I think it's illegal. So this guy can stack up to 6 units. So we grabbed just enough to make 6, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3. This is not Persian home territory, so it doesn't get Persian resistance with like a free unit. So here we go. So now we have to decide, is anyone going to intercept? Nah, he's out of moves, he's out of campaigns. Let him try for it. All right, we're going to go to the battle board. Okay, a couple things. You know, I'm moving like stacks like this around, right? Where it's got a mix of Byzantine and Roman units. The rules don't really say I can do that. I feel it makes sense. We are one empire, right? We're one empire. But it really says they're just like friendly to each other and can stack together, which would mean I'd have to like move some units in that are Roman and then move some units in that are Byzantine. That doesn't feel thematically right to me, but so I'm going to sort of house rule it, but it's possible I'm playing it wrong. Another thing, I know I already like went through the, hey, I'm going to intercept and all this stuff, but it's hard to play this game 4 players, right? There's a lot of little things to watch. For example, the event cards each player has. Persian's going to play this. The yellow player has this. Attrition, play during a stack's movement step. The target stack suffers attrition upon entering unfriendly territory. This could be during interception or as a normal activation. Make a D10 die roll check for each unit in the stack. 8+ unit is eliminated or flipped. Okay, so this could be pretty nasty. We'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leader doesn't matter. One. It was a 2. The red Roman, not an 8. This guy hit. Next one. 2. This one. Nope. This one. Nope. Okay. That could have been worse. Archery round. Each side has one archer. They have heavy advantage. So heavy advantage is -2 + 1. That's a -1. These guys have one archer. Here we go. I'm gonna grab my dice. So 10 + 1 is 11. 9 - 1 is 8. 11's a hit. 8 is a hit in clear, desert, or steppe, and we're in steppe. Doesn't really matter so much, but I think it'd be good to kill this guy. Oh wait, this is a small battle, so there's not going to be a recovery. That's fine. That's fine. It's like the Gassanids. Who cares? But there is flipping elite units over, so we'll flip this guy back. Again, I have to decide if I want to besiege my own city. You know, I better check the situation in Oriens to see if I actually control the area. You control an area if you control the majority of the cities. That's for empire rules. Kingdom rules is the majority of provinces. But we're an empire, majority of cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 cities in Oriens. 2 are not controlled. We have the majority. So I don't need to besiege this place here. At the end of my activation, since I control the area, I will get those 2 cities back. So this guy has to retreat though. We'll retreat into this Limas. The Romans and Persians each got 1 point. Okay, now for Iulianus. And I think I'm rethinking my rethinking. Here's what's up. He's got 3 campaigns. Let's do our first campaign. Teleport his stack somewhere, but I'm not going to take the whole stack. We're just going to take a legion and the Franks, an undamaged legion. Okay, we're going to teleport, I don't know, right here. Okay, that's currently overstacked, so we got to fix this situation. Let's see what we have in here. He can carry 7 guys in non-mountainous terrain. Right now we have 7. Great. This leader goes right here, right? So you can go 4 with infantry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, we're back down here. What a little surprise here. We got some good stuff. Here, let's just see what the good stuff is. I'm risking more legions, but I think this could do it. Okay, so now his second campaign, he's just going to go plop. They have to fight, right? They have to fight. Let's go to the battle board. All right. You know, admittedly, I was failing my morale check as the Romans. I didn't really think to use my campaigns to just move, scoop up a bunch of guys and get back over there. It seemed like more difficult to do than it really was. So I was able to put together a great army, way better than this army, it seems. This is the archery round. We are in steppe. So this guy's 1.5 rounded up to 2. But -2 because the Romans do have heavy advantage. These guys only have 3, and that means the Romans have to have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and then the Romans have a Franchi axe thrower, which is worth half a point, but rounds up, right? So, yep. All right, let's do this. Ooh, Romans not so good. They got a 6, which is definitely a miss. They got a 4. You need at least a 7, so no archery damage. Melee. So, these guys crossed a river. All of them did, so -1. +1 for having 2 diamonds. Since they're Romans, +1 for having 2 more diamonds. So we're looking at, yeah, +1. These guys, +1 for a fortified city and they're a kingdom. -1 for the enemy having the heavy advantage. There's no cavalry. These guys don't have enough veterans. They're wounded. At risk of a repeat of last time, Iulianus is going to drop one of his rerolls to convert this to a +3. He could also, I believe, give these guys a -2 if he wanted. I think he wants to go for mass casualties though. So he has 2 rerolls left. Persians have 2 rerolls. Here we go. Pretty close. Romans have 6 + 3 is 9. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. And 9 with 7 units in step rounds up to 4 losses. Ooh, that's good. That's good. These guys are 7. It's a straight 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 units with a 7. That's only... it's not bad. 2.5 losses round up to 3. So, what did we say? That was 4 losses and 3 losses. Okay, the attacker gets to do rerolls first. They're going to decline. So let me make sure, like, if they decline and then they do 1, like, can they then, like, come back? You know, you're not out by passing, so to speak. Well, it just says the attacker says reroll or not. The defender then says reroll or not. Repeat until both are satisfied. So, do these guys want to force a reroll? Oh, I mean, the Romans rolled below average. The Persians average. Well, they can't let Ctesiphon fall, right? So they at least need to do more losses to the enemy. Oh, man. I think they're going to re-roll themselves, the Persians. And a little better, 8. What was that? That was 6 units and 8 with 6 units. It's still 3 losses. The Romans, they're good. Persian's going to re-roll again. 9, all right. It's 3 losses. They really need a 10, 11, or 12 to get it to 4 losses. Well, I think the Romans are cool, just like it's going to be bad, but I think they win the battle from this. There could be another round, though, so let's figure out these losses. Let's do the Romans' 3 losses first. Franks. Yeah, Franks. That's a Roman home unit because it was given to the Romans permanently. Then I can take a non-Roman unit. And he'll take this loss, the last loss. These guys, 4. Oh man. 1. 2. Guess they don't have heavy advantage, so it's fine. 3. 4. All right, the then the attacker may declare a voluntary retreat. I don't think it makes any sense to try to fight this out. Like, there's no way they're going to win. Yeah. They just got to hope the siege fails. Ctesiphon has a -3 siege, so they just got to hope. So, what am I doing here? Yeah, so they're going to retreat. Let's do some recovery. It's a large battle. They can recover 2 units, so I guess we'll recover these heavies. Maybe we'll recover the heavies, and then one of these guys can flip. These guys can recover 2. 1, 2. Yeah, he was already damaged. And then one elite can flip. Wow, the Romans are fully intact. Okay, well, it's a -2. Ctesiphon city walls are -3, and our civilized besieger brings it up to -2. So I have to decide, do I want to order an assault, which would mean taking 2 hits and basically adding +2 more, so we get to 0. I think I have to. And it'll probably be these, yeah, okay. I'm going to treat the rules about, like, you can't do a client, a mercenary unit first, but the Franks don't count as one of those. So, bam, 1 loss, 2 losses. Okay, that brings us up to 0. Let's roll. Really quick. The green player, if I remember right, has a card that can force a siege roll to fail, but not if an assault was ordered. So that's like a kind of cool little card. Like, even though the green player has nothing going on in this battle, he could play it because he doesn't want the Romans hurting the Persians too much, right? He wants to keep them at each other's throats, that kind of thing. So anyway, straight siege. Miss, I need a 7. Reroll. 5. Last reroll. Romans need this. Oh man, that's too bad. That was the entire turn 2 would have changed. Well, Persians held on. Let's move back to the battle board. There were 1 point each for all that entire battle. 1 point each. Okay, technically I should have retreated Sapor first. I think I would have retreated him maybe back into Mesopotamia. Just because I know almost everyone's done moving, right? So these guys have to retreat back the way they came to here. They can retreat 2 more spaces. It doesn't really matter that much. We'll go, I was like 1, 2. And I can't overstack in this retreat, so I guess I think some of these guys continue the retreat. I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so they'll go to there. Okay, that's the end of the leader campaigns. End of the military phase for the Romans. A bunch of things have to go back. First, client mercenaries. This guy goes back to the Armenian, only last province of the Armenians. Off camera, we'll send the Mauritanians back to where they came from in North Africa. Now, I didn't even think. Julianus has to go back too. I think he's going to leave the board, but let's just say he retreated all the way to here too. But this guy has to go to Britannia, so I'm going to just do that. This guy has to go to Egyptus. That's sort of close enough to get on screen, so we'll go back to here. This guy to Cappadocia. I'll just throw him off to the side for the moment. This guy to Africa. Okay, we'll go to the province of Africa. This guy to Graecia. We'll go back to the capital, Constantinople, or Constantinopolis. What do we have in here? Illyricum, Italia, Gallia. Okay, we'll just go throw those into Italy, Gaul, and Illyrium. Illyrica. What do we have in here? That guy has no province. It's the Palatinate, or whatever they're called. I think I'm naming a country that's instead of what the actual horse thing's called. That's Asia, Syria. Okay. So Syria can come down, I don't know, here. These two provinces are now Roman controlled. Let's see, Asia, throw it down there. Okay, all these other guys I'll just quickly take care of. Additionally, the Romans have to give back this Persian unit that was in Italy from the marriage. Like, oh, thank you so much for giving me that. You're so nice. Persians put it here. Okay, that's it. That's the last activation. So all nations turn in the diplomacy cards they didn't use. I think there's two, so a couple nations will get like a gold coin. Well, this is the long one. We're going to cut it here, but you probably, if you watch this whole series, you're probably going to be a little upset with me, but this is the last video. I'm not going into turn 2. Apologies. I need to pack this up, wipe all the dust off because it's been sitting here like a month. It's probably disgusting. Gonna go play it in 1 week with my game group. We haven't met physically since, I don't know, 8 months ago or something due to COVID. So sorry about that, but I do plan on playing more of this and making videos. I'll probably pick, maybe there's a Britannia scenario. There's a bunch of scenarios. You get them online, but there's one for Gaul, one for Spain. So I'm going to do a smaller one that I can, do more fully and won't take 8 episodes to get one turn done. But yeah, just a little recap. Franks moved in, became friends with the Romans. Alemanni are unhappy trying to get in. These guys are halfway to their destination. Ostrogoths took all over here, but the Huns are going to come in, probably destroy them. Alans trying to sneak through here. They're so weak. Romans and Persians, massive, massive war. That was fun. I think the Romans got the upper hand. They got all their territory back. They took the Iberia. They extended their territory a little bit into Armenia. The Persians, they are still strong. They're going to have a famine in Persis, though. The Guptas, I think, did really well. Taking out the Kittites, almost taking out the Sogdians. Turn 2 would be really fun, really interesting. Well, I will report back on my... We're dedicating an entire day from like 9 to midnight or more. I don't know how far we'll get. Sometimes we are analysis paralysis types, so we'll see. Anyway, if you watch the whole series, thanks a lot, and I'll catch you in a while.